Well, it's been lovely today, lovely sunshine, but we've had rain, so it's been damp and moist, and we all know ideal conditions for blight. And last year we lost all our tomatoes to blight. All was not lost though, because Danny did give us some of his, which was very nice, but we thought we'd be self-sufficient this year and do everything we can to try and avoid it. Sometimes you can't avoid it, can you? So I've been cutting off the leaves of some of the tomatoes that look as if it could possibly be blight. I'm not sure, so have a look, use the leaves, and what do you think? Do you think this is blight or not? Fingers crossed it's not, but I suspect it could be. So I hope we can save as much as possible. So anyway, come and have a look and see what we've got left of the tomatoes since me cutting the leaves off. The tomatoes in the polytunnel are coming along nicely. Got quite a few tomatoes on the tomato plants. That one there is called a Barry's Crazy Cherry, and I can see why it's called that. And we've got some nice beef ones over there. There's one just ripening. And the trouble is though, I think we've got blight. Oh, there's a little bit more there. I've been cutting a load off. That looks like it as well. I think I need to cut those leaves off there as well. I'm hoping that we can save some tomatoes at least. I'm loving this statice. It's an everlasting flower. And I've already picked a load and taken them home to dry. There's helicrysum in there, and also these ones here are statice, and they can be dried off, or you can put them in a vase as they are, and they'll last for months. The bees just love the leek flowers. I'm glad I left them now. This fennel is starting to look really pretty. There's Doug pulling up and digging up the potatoes. Hiya, Doug. He's already dug up the potatoes from here, and those potatoes are here, and they're Coleen potatoes, I believe. So we've got a nice little harvest of potatoes there. So I've brought some brassicas down so I can make another bed here for my brassicas. And what potatoes are these you're digging up here, Doug?
Nicola.
Nicola. Oh God, they don't look so, not so much of a crop there, is there? Let's have a look. Oh well, there's a little crop. They're like little new potatoes compared to the others, but still, they'll do, won't they? This netting isn't needed here anymore because the beetroot is coming up lovely, and the onions I need to remove today because all the greens died back. I sowed some seeds in here about 5 or 6 weeks ago. I sowed some beetroot, and I also sowed some carrot seeds in amongst the onions, because the onions, I knew they wouldn't be long, they'd be coming up. Beetroot coming up lovely. No sign of any carrots whatsoever. All that's growing here is weeds. So I'm going to pull up the biggest weeds, and then I'm going to harvest the onions. I've had net over here. But I've taken the net off now because I'm going to be using that probably on the other plot and the hoops. And the beetroot's not going to need it now it's gone bigger. So hopefully the birds will leave that alone. I probably will thin the beetroot out. It's a bit thick in places, and I can spread that out in the rest of the bed. So we've got shallots in here, and we've also got shallots, and we've also got some onions. Whoops. So there's the shallots. Some of them are looking a bit soft actually after all that rain. They should have been picked before because the green's been off for quite a few weeks, but better late than never. So if I pick the shallots first, and they're coming up nice and easy. And then I'll pick the onions. They're fairly dry, they're not too bad actually. Some of them are bigger than others, you know. But they'll do a turn. Right. Oh, there's shallots over here as well. They're not going to grow anymore now. There's no green at all left on there. Oops, I pulled a beetroot up there. Never mind, I'll replant that. The onions are not very big, but never mind. Some are bigger than others, but like I said, they'll do a turn, won't they? That's probably about the biggest one. And that one. Do you know, we had a lot of rain yesterday, but this ground it's like dust. You'll never believe that we've had rain yesterday, would you? Never mind. At least I kept the onions dry. No wonder the carrots haven't come up. It's too dry. Bone dry, this soil. There we are. A nice little onion and shallot harvest. We've got some rest on these broad beans, so I'm not sure if they're going to grow much from now on. I think I'll cut some of it off. No, there's broad beans on there, so I'm going to leave those. But these ones are ripe for picking. And the reason we know that is because they're pointing down. And usually when they point down, it's because they've got the beans inside them and they're heavy. And they are ready for picking. So without further ado, at last we've got a broad bean harvest. It's such a shame really, because they were coming along really nicely and there was no sign of any rest on there. But never mind, these things happen, don't they? And you can't help it. But the beans inside here will be perfectly fine. Oh, I don't think I'll bother with that one. There's all wood lice coming out of that one. Right, I think there's a few in there as well. They're not quite ready yet. That's okay. They do look ready, even though they're not quite pointing down. There's a few around the other side too. Now I've decided to pull up a lot of these broad beans with the rest on because I've noticed that it is starting to affect the pod, and then once it starts affecting the pod, it could get to the beans. And not only that, but I noticed that some of them are getting soft. So if you can see that one there, it's quite bendy and soft, so it is starting to affect the beans. So I'm just doing this section for now, and then I'll leave that one. That section over there isn't as bad as this one. So I've picked most of the beans and pulled them up. Even though they're not quite pointing down, hopefully the beans inside should be okay. Yeah, there we are, look. See, the beans inside there, they're okay. So I'll pick them now so we don't lose the lot. So at least I'll have some to be getting on with, and I'll do the rest another day. Because it takes forever, doesn't it, doing broad beans. I've got a basket full there, But I've still got a load on the ground to pull off yet, so I think I need to go and get another bag. I don't have another truck, so I need to go and get a bag to put them in. So anyway, I love broad beans. How about you? And there we are, 2 nice harvests, one of broad beans and one of onions and shallots. This is our firecracker tomato plant, and look at this. We have our first ripe tomato on the firecracker plant. Our outdoor crimson crush tomato plant's coming along lovely, and we've got another couple of ripe tomato. In fact, we've got 3 on there. 1, 2, 3. These are the crimson flowered broad beans that I sowed about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and they're coming lovely, and they're ready to be planted out now. I'm going to plant them right next to the sprouts that I planted in my last video, and in the bed where dug up the potatoes last. So I put some chicken manure pellets down, and I'm going to rake that in now. Ideally I would have liked to put some bloodfish and bone, but I haven't got any at the moment, but that can be added at a later date. So I'm going to rake in the chicken manure pellets, and then I'm going to plant out the broad beans. Well rooted and ready to go out, so let's get on with the planting. They forecast rain tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I can leave the watering. The soil's quite moist because we had a lot of rain yesterday, so I'm just going to plant them for now, and hopefully the rain will do its job. If not, I'll give it a watering tomorrow. There's the broad beans all planted up, all 21 of them. Well, isn't it nice to be picking beans again for a nice cooked dinner? Can't beat picking your own fresh beans, can you? I usually miss a few, do you? I'm hoping to get them all today though. I'm hoping there's going to be enough actually. Ooh. Oh, do you know what? I keep knocking the seed. It's going on the floor and all this grass is growing. Never mind. Well, there's a start. There's a start. Let's see how many more I can pick. Well, there's not loads, but I think that's enough for a meal anyway. The only trouble is, where I've got the ones growing over the archway, there's black fly on them, and I got a feeling that's due to all the nasturtiums I put there. The idea is to attract the black fly onto the nasturtiums, but I think they're loving the nasturtiums, and I'm going to go with the beans as well. So next year, I don't think I'm going to plant nasturtiums by the beans. And not only that, but last night I was here and I was attracting all the slugs. They've grown over the pathway, and all the slugs were underneath with all the wet weather we've had. So I went on a slug hunt last night, got the slugs out, made a bit of a pathway again. But let me show you the black fly, where it's coming on the beans. Can you see all that black fly on there? That plant is full of it. There's lots of nasturtiums there, and they do look pretty, but I have moved them back, most of them back off the pathway, because they were covering the pathway. But Not a good idea, as it attracts a black fly, I reckon. There we are, rethink for next year. The ochre is starting to perk up, so I'm really pleased about that. Still looking a little bit sad in places, but it's coming along, so I'm glad I've left it there now. Rhubarb's coming along nicely in all that rain. My cabbages are starting to grow at last. I know that one over there is a sprout, and that's coming along nicely, but I haven't got a clue what these two are. But they seem to be coming along great, whatever they are. The broccoli and the cauliflower are starting to perk up a bit as well. This grapevine needs attention. I think I need to sort that out soon.